What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode number 90. I'm Fox2. We got Topher.
I think what was Eli's total yardage last night, Brian? Like -2? Was that?
I don't know. It's baseball season.
And the whole effing Brian.
Yeah.
Little hometown, for those of you that haven't figured it out, little hometown rivalry. The Cincinnati football team played the New York football team last night. Bengals versus Giants, correct? Not Jets.
Yeah, the Jets suck. They're too busy getting punched in the face.
Each other in the face in the locker room.
So looks like Pirate's not going to be joining us this episode, so you guys aren't going to be able to copy off of him.
He's too busy washing his scurvy off.
I don't even know what to reply to that. Like,
is that something you can actually wash off? Does it work
No,
that way?
probably not. But
I'm pretty sure scurvy is a vitamin C deficiency.
yeah,
I don't know that that's like
he didn't have his
yeah,
OJ.
you just wash it
topical
off.
condition that can be
They've got a cream for
relieved via
They got
soap.
they got a cleanse for that.
that. They got a cream for that. Next time you see Pirate, make sure you tell him that they have a cream for all of his problems.
His parrot pooped on his shoulder.
All right, let's jump in and talk about what we've been reading. I'll go first. I meant to bring it over here, but it's over, I think, in my briefcase actually. I've been reading. I have a collected. It's not like a graphic novel in the sense of like Blackest Night, where it's a story arc, but it's a collected volume of random Batman stories. It was produced back in the 90s, I believe, and it was the title of it is The Greatest Batman Stories Ever Told.
Are they the greatest Batman stories ever told?
I don't really agree with the title per se, but it's really neat because it gives you a big variety of time differences. You know, like you can read some stories from the very early Batman stuff, like very, very early Batman stuff, and then you can read like through some of the Neil Adams stuff and then some of the newer stuff. So it really gives you a good glimpse into like the changes that were brought about by the different authors, but also the different like time frames and cultural differences between, you know, the 60s versus 70s, 70s versus 80s, or whatever, whenever the particular comics were written. So it's pretty interesting. Some of them are really difficult to read and very, very wordy and slow, but it's just kind of it's a neat. I probably will never be able to collect the actual comics of some of these because they're so old. And the price tag on them would be, you know, potentially in the thousands of dollars. So there's that. But it is neat to get to read a paper copy of the old stuff sometimes. So that's why I like the Marvel Essentials. Is that what it's called? Marvel.
Yeah.
The Marvel Essentials.
Black and white collections.
Yeah, those are really nice for if you want to start at the beginning of like. You know, if you're like a big Spider-Man fan and you want to start at the beginning of Spider-Man, you're going to have a lot better luck finding one of those books than finding the first appearance of Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy number 15. So, that's about all I've been reading this week. Nothing new again. So,
Or if you want it in color, you know, there's always Marvel Unlimited.
Yes.
Oh, that's the wrong song.
Oh, wait, that's not X-Men.
Spider-Man.
There you go.
Topher, what have you been reading? We should just stop asking what he's been reading and just start humming that song.
Joke's on you because the only pages of a comic book I've looked at this week are those first few pages of Amazing Fantasy 15 that I just scrolled past.
Fair enough. I understand. Sometimes it's difficult. And, you know, I've come to find, too, that, like, it's especially doing a podcast about comic books, it's kind of easy to burn yourself out on it a little bit because you're wanting to read not just for the enjoyment of it, but to have something to talk about, a story to tell the listeners. I find that if you're not really wanting to read and you force yourself to do so, it really can burn you out quite quickly.
I haven't even been to the store yet this week to pick up this week's books, I don't think.
Shame.
Yeah. I know, right? My problem is I was like really heavy on the comic book thing, trying to catch up, and then I started playing Magic, and that pretty much ruined my life. So
I just found out actually. I just found out yesterday or the day before that a kid that I went to high school with, that I wouldn't say best friends with, but we were acquaintances, is now I want to say executive. I can't remember what his positional title is, but he works at Wizards of the Coast on Magic the Gathering.
nice.
He's hiring a senior copywriter in case you're interested in writing copy for the next edition of Magic the Gathering. Just throwing that out there.
No, can't say that.
No, not so much. Well, Brian, what about you? Have you been reading anything?
Well, this week I read the back of a milk crate, and it told me everything that was in milk. No, this week I read.
Any missing children?
He lives in New York. What do you think?
Just the one in my basement.
Of course, there's missing children. It's New York City.
This week I read Secret Wars #5 and Batman 43. Both of them gave you answers.
Who's writing Batman now?
Snyder still.
Still Snyder?
Still Scott Snyder.
How much longer is he writing that?
Indefinitely.
Forever, hopefully.
Forever.
Yeah. Let's hope he never stops.
For some reason, I was thinking that they were taking him off of that.
No, I think they might be after a certain book. I think Greg Capullo might be dropping off. I thought I read something, but nope. Let's not jinx it, and let's have Scott Snyder write it forever. Because Green Lantern got uninteresting after Jeff Johns left.
That's true.
So, but both books gave you answers to what's going on in the story, which, as we know, comic books will sometimes leave out some of the answers. But, Secret Wars, we got the answers to what happens to Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange for Doom to be able to create Battleworld and everything pre-Battleworld coming up. And then Batman, if everybody's been reading Batman, we got answers to why Bruce Wayne is just sitting and working at a YMCA type place, and what happened to him after.
Because it's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we bring up the Navy.
Right. Wow. Okay. So
Seaman.
I want to address a question that was actually posted to the last podcast by one of our viewers. He asked if there was a new Star Trek Next Generation television show in development. You mentioned something about Star Trek The Next Generation last week when you were talking. It was either last week or the week prior. And you had asked about, or you mentioned something about
you being
with Wesley Crusher. Topher. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about.
That was a board game, though. Wasn't
it was a board game. It was new characters that you could use for the Star Trek Settlers of Catan.
Settlers of Catan. I didn't want to reply to his question directly because I couldn't remember the name of the game, but I was fairly certain that you were talking about a board game. I would love to see a new rendition of the Next Generation television show because I grew up with it, and I would totally be the things that they could do with that show now with the computer graphics, the CGI, all. Oh my gosh, the special effects would be incredible. It would be.
They could call it Enterprise, and it could suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
they do
Deep-
that?
How about that
They've had
porn
like
title,
there's
Deep
been
Space
like
Nine?
3 or 4 different Star Trek series since
Well,
Next Generation.
I know there's been a bunch of different ones, but it wasn't like
You
there
just
wasn't
specifically
just
want them to go back and redo Next Generation.
Yes.
Okay.
I want the Next Generation reboot.
Well, you can't reboot it because nobody can play Picard. You can't replace Sir Patrick Stewart. That's
You don't
just
have
like
to. He's still
sacrilege.
alive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get his
no,
ass
it'd
back
be
in
like,
there.
"Ugh."
He still looks the same.
To-
Motherfucker was bald 20 years ago. He's still bald now. Fuck
It'd be
it.
like,
Dye his
"To me,
eyebrows
my
and
red
put his
shirt."
ass back in there. Give him a red shirt and get his ass in the chair.
He's always sitting in chairs. I feel bad for him.
Right?
Because he's like 130.
Yeah, but he still could probably kick any of our asses.
Probably. But I think it would be awesome. And
Yeah, but his girlfriend's younger than we are.
They're filming a new Star Trek movie right now, aren't they?
I didn't hear anything
Are
about
they?
that.
Yes. Star
Well,
Trek
like,
Beyond.
are they? Oh, what is
I
it
don't know
beyond?
that I don't know that they're filming just yet.
Like the J.J. Abrams reboot.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Chris
Oh,
Pine.
Oh yeah, that's
Mhm.
right. Yeah, they are. It's all right. J.J. Abrams has the best seat in the house right now.
Yeah,
He's going to be making it rain every day.
I'd say he probably already is. Star Trek and Star Wars now. He's playing both sides of the fence. That motherfucker.
They showed like a little bit more footage. Like there was a commercial or something that aired
The dark
overseas
side.
somewhere with some more footage from Force Awakens and
Oh, the Japanese,
yeah, just
Asian trailer or whatever.
yeah, everything that comes out of that just looks so fucking good.
It
I
really
can't
is.
I'm so excited about that movie.
I'm excited about that movie. I'm excited about the Battlefront game that's coming out.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
going to be
that's-
like
I'm
kind of
getting
a
that
that'll be
almost
tandem.
good too.
Like I think
Yep.
that's going to be awesome that they're going to kind of play that off of the film and kind of tie it in. Like that's a fucking brilliant marketing strategy.
There's going to be a comic series too that comes out that leads up to it.
Fuck.
In
They're
September,
gonna,
yeah.
They are literally going to be printing money. This is going to be far and away
Oh, yeah.
the biggest grossing movie ever. Like
Hands
and
down,
it's gonna
easy. Like
smash
it's
the
not
fuck
even going
out
to be
of
close.
everything.
Like I want to go see it. Like I'll probably see it. Like what did we lose, Brian?
I don't know.
Lost Brian.
We may have lost Brian. Are you going to go to the midnight opening?
Oh God, let's be honest. I'm probably gonna go see it like 4 times opening weekend. Like I just want to help it get that high score.
Well, will you go to the opening, like the actual midnight opening?
Maybe, I don't know. It depends on. I mean, it's gonna depend on what's going on that release weekend.
Have you
Like,
ever done a Star Wars
Oh, yeah.
midnight opening?
Oh, Star Wars well, fuck. I mean, the prequels trilogy came out like, God, what? Like Phantom Menace came out in '99. I was not at a. Oh no, I was definitely not at a midnight release of that. I don't remember if I went to
I went to
early release of the other ones.
when they
I've
before
been to
the
midnight
prequels when they
movies
did
now.
the digitally remastered versions.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the midnight opening of that,
The special edition.
the special edition.
Yeah.
That was sick. And then episode 1, I went to. I couldn't get tickets to the midnight showing, but we got tickets to the. It was like the second showing. It was like 12:45 or something like that. And it was exam week. There was like 6 of us that went, and I was, let's see, 99. I was a sophomore in high school. So we had to go, we got up, went to the showing, were mildly disappointed in the film, but still like fucking amped because it was a new Star Wars, and then had to go straight to school and take exams all day. It was fucking miserable.
I remember seeing. Let's see here. I remember seeing Phantom Menace. I saw it Friday night, like Friday evening, so I was not at the midnight showing of that. I remember Empire's re-release, like the special edition one. I think I went and saw that. Apparently, my ringer's on my phone. Hey, look, Brian's sending us messages. Oh no, that's you talking to Brian. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I remember going to the Empire special edition like 5 times. I remember going to like some little theater in Kentucky at the time, and it was like freaking empty, but we loved every second of it and like wanted to go see it like 8 more times because it was like, oh my god, Empire Strikes Back on a real movie theater screen.
I remember the like most amazing part was, and you have to remember, okay, for those of you that are young and watching, you know, younger than us and watching this, when we were growing up and watching movies, special effects was not even in the same ballpark that it is now. It was not even remotely close. So for me, like, what the one big thing that really stood out as different was the explosion of the Death Star. At the end of the first movie. It was so much different than, I mean, like in the original cut of the Star Wars films, if you still have that, and you watch the Death Star blowing up, it literally looks like a box of sparklers.
Yeah.
That like you just set on fire and it's just like shh.
It looks like your fuse went out. Like a fuse blew and like, you know.
Pop, and then it's done and that's it. And like, but with the special edition, with the, you know, the digitally remastered version or whatever you want to call it, they added some, you know, some depth to that and like a shock wave and, you know,
a giant ring.
Yeah, it just looked at the time fucking incredible. I mean, just mind blowing. By today's standards, not so much, but for then it was, as a kid getting to see Star Wars for the first time, like you said, on the big screen and seeing that was just mind blowing.
Like, I'm probably even a bigger Star Wars fan now than I was then. So like, I don't remember exactly when I don't remember which showings I went to for the other two. I remember the theater was freaking packed. But my Millennium Falcon's bigger than your Millennium Falcon.
Well,
this isn't a Millennium Falcon measuring contest, gentlemen.
No, I don't go to a lot of midnight releases. Like, it has to be a pretty big deal. I remember, let's see here, I went to the second Matrix movie. I remember I went to a midnight release of that because the first Matrix movie was like freaking amazing.
And you were totally let down.
Yeah, and then we saw the second and third one. I was like, you know, the third one we could probably go to like.
Third one was pretty good, but the second one was meh.
Yeah. So, but oh my god, I remember we went to.
First one was. I watched the first one so many times in the theater.
I bought the first one. The first Matrix movie was the first DVD I ever bought, and I bought it before I even owned a DVD player at the time because I'm like, I'm not buying this on VHS. Like, I need this on DVD. I'll eventually get a player for it.
Damn. Brian, have you ever been to a midnight release for like Star Wars?
For Star Wars, yeah, the first 3 episodes, the first 3 shit, all the 3.
Yeah,
can't even say first 3. The
episodes
3
1
shitty
through
movies. The 3 that we like to forget about.
No, did either of you guys? I was a huge Star Wars fan growing up, through junior high, high school. I still love Star Wars. That kind of tapered off a little bit with the release of the newer movies, just because they're just not. It just doesn't have that feel to it that the old ones do. Now this next one definitely feels like they're getting back, you know, using technology to their advantage, but getting back to their roots.
It's like you said about the special effects back then. You know, like one of the things that made that movie so good was that the special effects were so ahead of its time. And I know sparklers for an explosion doesn't sound, you know, amazing, but like when you look at what they were doing back then, like movies didn't have special effects.
Yeah, there was
like
nothing.
And that was before CGI, you know, and I think what has made those movies so endearing still to this day is that you don't find the attention to detail and special effects that were in that movie. Never before then, and not really a whole lot since then either, because most everything is CGI now. You know, like, and I think that's one of the reasons why the prequels felt like they fell a little flat, because you had all this CGI stuff, and it looked like something else. It didn't look like Star Wars. And one thing I really, really appreciate about what they're doing with Force Awakens is most of the things. I mean, there's going to be some CGI. You know, obviously it looks better than it did, 15 years ago when they were doing the prequels. But a lot of stuff they built real models for. Like, they actually built a giant Millennium Falcon. Yeah. It's not just like, green screen, like that little BB-8 robot, they brought that out on stage at one of the Comic-Cons. That's not all just CGI. It's not some cutesy, video character that's like, that's an actual, like, we actually built one. Here it is. Like, this is, that's awesome. This is it. Like, it's real. The camera footage of it is like, they're interacting with real objects. It's not something that looks like, they edited in post.
Now, Chris, I know that you just recently got involved with Magic the Gathering card game. Did either of you guys ever play the Star Wars card game?
I had the cards. I never really played it.
Oh my gosh. I used to go to the local like hobby shop where they dealt those things. We played that. We played Mech Warrior. We played all kinds of stuff. I mean, we played Warhammer. Tons and tons of stuff when I was younger. But one of the big staples, Magic the Gathering, was one of the regulars.
Then you got older and started hating fun.
Yes, I started hating fun and being an adult. It's a son of a bitch.
Going to bed at 7 p.m. and
yeah, whatever.
Spend every weekend mowing his lawn. Star Wars card game.
Yes, being a responsible member of the community.
Speaking of mowing lawns, like, it's awful quiet out there.
Yeah, I know. Your neighbor
hasn't started up yet.
Knock on wood right now.
Did either of you guys ever play the Star Wars card game?
I never had any cards. My cousin played, and whenever he would come by, he'd bring his decks, and like he had a couple decks that he built up. And
used to touch your cousin's deck.
Oh yeah, like I couldn't get enough of my cousin's deck. It was like we'd get them out, and we'd like.
Did you like to touch the light side or the dark side?
We like shuffle them together and
that's see no moon. Those are balls.
No, it was pretty fun. Like, I actually like that. You talking about the one where like
the ships.
Who made it?
Different
like
planet systems.
and you could like
characters. You could put the characters on the ships.
Go to a planet, and like if you didn't have a force there, like you could force drain somebody, and like I don't remember all the rules. That game was pretty cool. The thing I liked most about that game, like I didn't have any of the cards, but it was really fun. Like, I'd like read the cards of like, oh, that's that guy's name. Like, I learned the names of so many like little random ass characters, like from Jabba's palace and from the cantina and Mos Eisley. It's like I learned all these names of like the generals in the meeting in the Death Star, for the for the Imperials. Like, I'm like, now I know all their names and shit.
I wish I could remember that was the name of the.
That was probably like my first. That might have been like my introduction to like kind of expanded universe stuff, and like finding out that there's more to it than what was just in the movies. Like,
you can buy a box
and shit.
A box of those cards for $17 on eBay. I am seriously considering investing in like several boxes of cards.
There's
making a couple decks, and then we could play, because that would be super fun.
I'm totally down for that. There's a new Star Wars card game.
I'm not interested in that.
I
want to play the one that reminds me of being a child when I didn't have responsibilities.
Too bad you can't find the time to play
basically,
it.
Doug, what you're saying
adult
is
with responsibilities.
You're building a couple of decks so people could play with them.
Yes. That wasn't as
Graduated from my cousin's deck. Now I want to play with Doug's.
Yeah, he wants to play with the big deck now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now that we've made it totally awkward,
We could probably
Let's
make
move
it awkward.
on.
I was gonna say, like,
I'm
we
pretty
didn't even
sure
try very hard.
let's move on and talk about some news. There's a handful of things we can cover this week. I don't know if you guys heard this. I haven't seen much press about this. It just kind of slid under the radar, but I found this kind of interesting.
That's what she said.
There's a TV show that's in development. I don't know at what stage of development this is in, so whether or not we actually ever see it, I don't know if that'll come to fruition. But
It was just announced yesterday, so there's not much shit on it.
you know what I'm talking about
Probably.
already. Okay,
I apparently don't.
NBC is creating a sitcom called Powerless that will be set in the DC universe, and it's going to be following the struggles of non-powered office workers who deal with superhero-related insurance claims.
What?
Yeah. I like it. It's not going to have any of the top tier DC properties like Superman or Batman.
Oh god!
But it'll have kind of that B tier. I think this could be fucking hysterical if they
It'd be
really
like the Harvey
play
Birdman
this,
attorney at law.
yeah, like if they really play this right and play up the comedy side of it, then I think it could be fucking special.
There's in the Marvel universe, there's an organization called Damage Control that is like an insurance company that follows superheroes. Well, doesn't follow them around, but has to come in and is responsible for the cleanup and after giant
and rebuild them.
I mean, would you guys watch this? I would watch this.
Yeah, I'd watch it. I mean,
I envision something like The Office.
Right,
that's
what I was
kind of
thinking.
like The Office, but with like superheroes coming in and explaining why they demolish like half a city block and how they're going to repay it.
I don't know if you guys are anime fans, but one of my favorite animes is called Trigun. And have you seen it? Yeah,
it was one of my favorite ones that were on Tsunami back in the day.
And so like it's some other like I don't know planet where like I don't know a bunch of like human refugees settled some other planet, and it's like almost like an old western kind of feel, but like space western or some shit like that. And anyway, but like there's this guy who has this like horrible reputation for like just everywhere he goes, entire cities end up getting destroyed. So
Superman in the movies.
Right. So the two main female characters like are insurance agents who have been sent out to go find this guy and follow him around and figure out why all this destruction keeps following him, because they can't afford to keep insuring all these places after he goes through. And like it sounds kind of hokey, but like it's actually a really good series.
Yeah, I think that this could make
It made me think of that.
A really interesting sitcom. And what I think is really brilliant about this from the DC comics side is this is a really smart way to be able to introduce those B and C level characters to the general population to make the transition into movies much easier. So you can introduce these characters and you can immediately get a gauge. You're able to test your market and find out, well, this character did great, this character wasn't as popular. So now they're going to have a tool with which they can expose the general public to all of these
What about
other
exposing your
characters. Tool? Yes. Jerk.
Workplace comedy.
It looks
I
funny.
have to look this up. It sounds interesting. Is this going to be like in universe with other shows?
I don't think so. It's again, there's really not much information out there. Powerless was created and will be produced by Ben Queen, who scripted Pixar's Cars 2. There's really not much Yeah, it doesn't really give you a whole lot. Like I said, it was just announced. This is what you were thinking about, right, Brian?
What?
This is,
Yeah.
yeah,
Powerless, yeah.
yeah. So
It was announced yesterday.
yeah, so I'm sure that we'll find out a lot more about it as we get closer to whatever release date would be. But they haven't casted anybody or anything like that yet, as far as what we know. So
Comedy is a natural extension for the DC brand, because like everything else they're doing is like serious as
Yeah,
fuck.
I'm
and has
guessing the
no
TV
fun.
shows don't have that no comedy clause.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds interesting. It sounds like they're trying to like The Office did really well, and superhero things are a big thing. So let's make The Office with superheroes.
kinda, that's the
like-
vibe that I got.
It sounds a little. That premise sounds a little sketchy, but
I would watch at least a couple episodes just to see what it's
Oh
like.
yeah,
though.
I mean, I'll watch it because it'll probably be funny and it'll probably be interesting. But I'm a little skeptical of whether this is going to be any good. I think it'll be entertaining. But speaking of shows on NBC, though, did you see Did you guys watch Heroes, the original Heroes series?
I did not. I've seen a few episodes, but I did not watch it religiously.
They
I
had a
watched it
trailer.
even through the shitty season.
So did I. They had a trailer recently for the new one, for the Heroes Reloaded, Rebooted, something. What the fuck are they calling it? Revisited,
Reborn.
Reborn. There we go. Like something. Heroes Reborn.
Regurgitated.
The trailer looked pretty neat. I gotta admit, like they had a lot of characters coming back. Oh, there's the lawnmower.
Yeah, figures.
Right on
You didn't
time.
knock on wood.
Another bit of news is actor Zach Galifianakis, which everybody knows from The Hangover, is in talks to voice the Joker in the Lego Batman movie.
You're getting all weird actors and stuff to do this.
That's what I'm saying. Is they've got Michael Cera is playing Robin, or voicing Robin.
And then Will Arnett's still doing Batman, right?
Yeah, Will Arnett is Batman, and now they're talking about potentially Zach Galifianakis as the Joker.
I must have
it's
misunderstood.
for like
It
the
sounded
Lego Batman, which are all kind of like zany and stuff. So
It sounded like you said somebody other than Mark Hamill is going to be voicing the Joker, and I must have misunderstood you.
Yes, Zach Galifianakis.
You're pronouncing it wrong. It's Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so
Bit
clearly
dick.
Topher is not a fan of this.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
not-
it's Lego Batman. Like they're. I mean, Will Arnett voices Batman. How un-Batman can you get?
Michael
so.
Cera is doing Robin.
I mean, that kind of fits, though.
How do you figure?
I don't know.
How does
if
that
you've got-
fit better than Will Arnett as Batman?
Because if you've got Will Arnett as Batman, then Michael Cera kind of sounds like.
Oh,
yeah,
so
like,
this is
that
just
would-
basically the
that would be
birds
his
of
Robin.
this is just the birds of a feather flock together theory here.
What?
Like, well,
Yeah.
because this one doesn't fit, we might as well put somebody
Bats
else
aren't.
in there.
Okay,
And-
robins are birds, but bats are not birds. Bats are
And
actually mammals.
there's a rock lobster.
Your birds of a
And
feather.
there's the rock lobster
He
reference.
just falls apart.
This is why you can't ever make any kind of comments to an engineer. Thank you. Did you guys happen to see the first pictures from the set of the Civil War of the Black Panther costume?
Yep, it looks exactly like the promo art that they showed us last
Yeah,
year.
pretty much.
What are your guys' take on this?
Looks cool.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I mean, yeah, you can't. It's just a side view, but
I thought it was good, but I just thought it was kind of bland. I would have liked to see one of the different variations of the costume, like the one that's got like the gold trim and claws, where it's kind of got something that stands out about it a little bit.
he has trim and claws on it.
It didn't
He has
look like
he has around his
looked all
like
black to me.
forearms and around his neck. He has if you look at the promo image that they released during last year, That I think it was during that secret Disney get together where the actor actually came out when they announced the timeline of their
there's
movies
some, like,
going to 2018.
grayish
He has
silver
that
trim.
bone stuff around his neck and around
Yeah,
his forearms.
like the claw necklace thing.
Yeah.
I guess I just think that it would have.
There's a shot of him. There's a shot of him from the front without the mask on.
It's not
And,
as
like-
bland as the actual costume in the comic books. He's just
Yeah.
all black.
I mean, there's some
Well,
like
there's
trim.
a couple
There's like
different.
the white
I mean,
thing, and there's like some like lighter like.
I mean, you
accent.
can't really give that much detail to a costume when you're supposed to be like a hunter, a jungle hunter that's supposed to be blending in.
well, there's a lot of different takes on it too. Like there was the priest era one where like that I'm talking about where it had the gold trim to it.
The what?
The priest era, like Black Panther. It's the one with the gold trim and stuff.
No idea what you're talking about.
Well, Google that shit. GTS.
Priest era, Black Panther, gold trim, and shit. Googling.
I hope that it comes up under that exact. Yeah, it comes up right away.
Are you talking about the one with the face mask over his face?
Yeah, he has a.
That's not legit. That's somebody did that. That was
No.
never in the comic
Yeah,
books.
so yeah, I'm looking at comic book covers right now with.
Oh, what the? I don't see any
Yeah,
gold
that-
trim. I see him wearing a
I think
cape.
I think the artist's first name was Christopher Priest.
Oh,
could
you're
be
talking
wrong.
about the one where he has
the writer. He was the writer, not the artist.
Oh, was he?
but-
Okay.
Are you talking about the one with it looks like little claws on his outfit?
Yes.
Yeah, that's basically what this one looks like.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
You're wrong.
It's not gold though. They're like white on his outfit in the movie.
Search for Black Panther gold trim, and I get like fucking little panther statues.
I see the one.
Oh,
he's
okay.
talking about.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the one that makes it look like he's got like the like
Was.
Tim Burton Batman utility belt and
Around
wrist
his
cuffs
neck
and shit.
or around his wrist cuffs. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Uh,
I like that. I personally like that one better.
looks too reminiscent
Comic-y?
of Batman. Looks too reminiscent of Batman. Like
Now go and look up
the one that the picture that they've
Black
got.
Panther movie costume.
Yeah, the movie
It looks
costume
like the
has
same thing.
it has white trim just instead of gold. Like I don't know what the big deal is. It looks good to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Mm.
I love how Topher is allowed to have his opinion, but anybody else's
Yep.
opinion is garbage.
No, just
One
yours
of,
normally.
one of these days, I'm just going to flat out kick him off the podcast.
Brian's
I'm
opinions are
just
normally
going to
valid.
boot him.
Yours
from
are normally just like super negative. They're just like, I don't like it.
Yeah, that's exactly the negative opinion that I had about the Powerless sitcom when you were negative about it, and I was saying that I thought it was good. Yes, that's 100% correct.
Well, it's not
That's
excellent.
true. It is pretty odd for you to see see news of something coming out and like have a positive reaction to it rather than
You're
like,
wrong.
I think this is gonna suck.
Just accept it. You're wrong. It's okay. You're wrong more than you think you are, but that's okay.
You're all wrong. I'm right. All hail me.
Did you guys see the first image of the Jay Garrick character for the CW's Flash?
Yeah, it was just animated. I mean, it looks cool if that's what it's gonna
Holy
look like.
Christ. Topher, do you have a lawnmower in your living room?
3 actually. There's like one over there and no, I don't.
Black Lobster.
So you saw it, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, it's just promotional art. It's not him actually, but if the suit's gonna look like that, it looks cool enough.
Yeah, I think it looks like they're going to do a good job of paying homage to the original character and stuff. I like it. It looks.
Of what?
I mean,
I didn't hear
it
you.
looks
There's
dead
one
on.
more.
Jay Garrick for this.
Oh yeah, for Flash.
Yeah, I mean, it looks literally like the concept art or whatever, the promotional art that they released. It looks dead on Jay Garrick from the comics, like dead on. So all the way down to the helmet, the shirt. The only difference is that the lightning bolt on his shirt is not filled in yellow. In the comics, it is, and that is a minor difference.
Well,
So-
that is also an animated image.
Well,
It's not a legit image of him.
yeah, but if that's going to be their, I mean, if that's their promo image, I would have to say that's what they're going to go with. They're not going to release that and then change it drastically. Do you think?
It's also him running.
What are you talking about?
Like,
You
it's
did-
blurred a little bit because he's running.
No, it's not. What image are you looking at?
The one where he's running out, the one that recreates the cover when
Yeah.
Barry Allen first made Jay Garrick.
Looks really clear to me.
It's also animated. I mean,
Well, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, to see, what. I think that's the direction that they're going to head, though. I don't think that they would put out something like that and then, like, fucking flip the script and go with, like, a brand new outfit. And then
no,
last,
not brand new. but
Where?
It's still like just like
I will send you a link.
it's not a legit It's not a legit outfit. It's just
I'll
you know
send you a
created
link
by
to it.
art and stuff.
Here's a link.
So we don't know how to look like an actual like
Yeah.
cloth.
Did you see that picture?
I did not.
See my butt?
He's got trim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like the trim's
it's
gonna be
alright.
animated and stuff.
It's alright.
It's the same thing. It even has like the side belt things as the
Yeah.
priest image.
So,
Yeah, I mean he's got like the belt. He's got like the glove.
Well, the last
Yeah.
the last bit
Whatever.
of news that I wanted to cover before we're done today is right up your alley, Topher. Patrick Stewart
X-Men?
confirms that he will be in the third Wolverine film. So,
Okay. I still
I
haven't.
don't know
seen
what
the
his
second
role is
one.
going to be. I guess it's not going to be a Old Man Logan variation.
I don't know.
I still haven't seen the Wolverine movie, like the not Origins one, the one in like Japan and shit. Still haven't seen it.
The Wolverine
I watched
Yeah.
like half of it and turned it off. I didn't really care for it.
sucks. Hey, you guys also missed that Fox is trying to procure a X-Men TV series, and then also
We talked
Did
about that
anybody
last
see-
week.
talking about Star Wars before. Did anybody see the first images of Luke Skywalker?
Yes, with the full robes and everything. That was pretty cool.
It looks like Ben Kenobi's robes in the
Yeah,
New Hope.
yeah. He's like
I
all
can't wait for that
bearded
movie.
and everything, and
Christmas Eve, I'll be at the theater.
it's awesome.
Can't wait for that movie. It's going to be awesome.
Does it come out on Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas
Wow.
Eve night.
Fuck Santa, I'm going to see Star Wars.
Right.
Shit. All right. Well, that's it for episode 90.
Maybe Santa's the one who's dropping the film off at the theater.
Yeah,
Maybe
it could
Santa will
be.
be flying a TIE fighter.
we will see you guys next week. I'm Fox 2. We got Topher.
What? John's Pirate's not here. What do we do?
I don't know. Panic!
Oh God! Ah!
And the whole effing Brian.